Welcome back to the cabin, guys. Well, today I thought I'd give you guys an audio tour and a visual tour of the cabin. The last time I did a tour of the cabin, I did it kind of silently so you guys could have a look, and that was I think over a year ago. So stay tuned today. I'll give you a tour of the cabin. The cabin itself is 10 by 24. Got a small little 4-foot by 10-foot porch here on the front. I do want to expand that over time. Got this little drawer handle actually, but it's pretty cool. I actually just use it to hang up coats and stuff. It's cast iron, and I love cast iron. Of course, on the ledges of the deck I have my oddities collection and things I found in the woods. One thing we've got here is a nice little setup where you can kind of have a table here. See where there's just a little wedge of wood there that's going to come out and hold up the board. It's really handy. You've seen me do some of my cooking and stuff right here. I really like it. So the deck is pressure treated lumber, as well as the base of the frame. The frame is laying on those patio stones and these large cinder blocks right here, and a little pad of gravel. The outside is board and batten, and let me tell you, that was a lot of work. It's not pressure treated, that's just regular pine. So it will gray down with time. We do put Thompson's water sealer on it so that it doesn't get as rot as fast. Doesn't rot as fast. Each spring we check and see if the cabin is level, and we make necessary adjustments. I included that in one of my summer videos last year. Here's one of these tent caterpillars. Oh, geez. And our battery. It's just a regular battery that you'd use, like a marine battery. It's in a little cooler here. Oh, gosh, more of these little tent caterpillars. So basically, we put it in here so we can pick this up and roll it back into the field. Right now, we don't have a setup, a large setup for battery power and solar. So we just have this little battery that goes out to the field, and through there we've got our little shed, and on top of that we've got our 2 solar panels. So this battery's charged, and this is the plug-in for the cabin. So there's cabling that goes from here into here, and that's where our power comes in. As you guys know, that's the shower stall there. Built that last year. It's a real asset to have that. Nice privacy there. On the back we don't have any windows because, as you know, that's where the kitchen is. Up here you can see the attic vent, which is absolutely necessary with an attic. And we don't need a fan or anything, but that does a good job at letting some of the moisture out. So that was a lot of hard work installing on this board and batten and all the trim around the vent there. I remember standing up on top of like the tallest ladder in the summer heat. It was around this time of year in July, and oh man, working 8-10 hour days here building this cabin. It's all worth it at the end of the day, but in the moment it's like severe frustration because you're sitting there with a hammer, your nails and your wood, you're just trying to get up everything perfect, and it can be a little bit frustrating at times. And yes, there is such a thing as ladder rage. You're on top of a ladder all day, sweating and working hard. It can get pretty frustrating. So although the boards were nailed on, the battens I actually ended up screwing on, which is, I don't know, I think that's a great idea, because if you ever have to take something off, you can actually salvage these, I guess, if you had to go inspect some things. Up here you can see the metal soffit. We did not do that ourselves. We did not do the metal roof or the soffit. Our roof is really tall, and we didn't really have a safe way to put the metal roof on or do the soffit, so we had a contractor put that on. We did put up the majority of the 4x8 panels up there for the roof, but the crew actually did the rest of the weather sealing and installed the metal roof for us. Just a safe way to do it. They had the scaffolding. It's a semi-remote area. I'm not about to climb up on top of this really steeply angled roof and have an accident. So they had all the necessary safety equipment, and we were happy that they did a great job for us. So there's the metal roof there. I don't know if you can appreciate it, but it is a bit of a sky blue or a seafoam blue, I guess. One thing when we were consulting about putting the metal roof on was what colors should we get. A lot of people had put on darker colors around here, like a dark brown. Some people put red on there. But what you'll notice with metal roofs, and this is really important, is that they will fade over time. So the black becomes a gray, red becomes pink. The dark brown turns a light brown and can get blotchy. So that was a concern. We actually almost got talked out of putting a metal roof on. I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we did the metal roof. Why we picked this color was that if it faded, it would kind of look like the sky. So it really blends in. You know, the cabin is that, you know, that wood color, and the roof is kind of a sky color. And if it gets lighter, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see it. So that's why we picked that color out of all the other colors we had available to us. Many might complain that you know, you'd hear a lot of rain and noise with a metal roof and popping, and I honestly can't say that at all. They did a really great job of putting on an insulating, weatherproof barrier, and it does not make a lot of noise when it rains, no louder than a regular roof. So this side, the only difference is basically these two windows are a bit closer together. The framework of, you know, the cabin, sort of underneath all the pretty exterior, are 2x6s. So this place is built like a brick, you know what. It is solid. We use very heavy construction materials for this place. It's not really going anywhere. Let's hope not, unless a giant tree falls on it. But even then, it's really, really strong. We did a lot of calculations. My husband designed it basically and figured out the snow load, the pitch of the roof, all this kind of stuff. So it is solid. It's not going to collapse on us any day soon. So how we made the actual cabin itself was we made the walls, you know, we made one wall at a time, and then we just had a few people to sort of stand it up. So how it works, as you can see on the outside here, so right here we've got the board and batten. Underneath that is OSB. And obviously we use 2x6s in the construction, and then we've got Roxol insulation. So it's 6-inch thick Roxol, so it's very well insulated. And on the other side of that is the vapor barrier. So, and then of course obviously our pine siding. So originally I had chosen Roxol insulation because it's great. It's a great fire barrier as well, and a little bit better, I guess, than the pink insulation that you see. The other reason was I thought that the mice would not like it. Well, that's not true. The mice have no problem tunneling through it. So don't get it for that reason, thinking that, oh, it's going to make my cabin more rodent-proof. Well, it's not. The best way to rodent-proof your cabin is to seal it really, really well. And we had one little area that was open, I'm thinking, you know, and we've got a few little mice in the attic, nowhere in the main cabin. But, however, I went through about a year ago and sealed everything really well. And thank goodness I haven't had any mice in the traps this year. Let's go inside. It gets a little bit swollen here in the warm air. So this is the cabin on the inside. It's 10 by 20. On the main floor here. You can see we've got some slate tile on the floor there and birch hardwood. One thing I want to mention about the floor is that there are many layers to this floor, obviously. So the first layer, way at the bottom, so there's the ground, there's the framework, then we put pressure treated 4x8 plywood sheets and fit them all the way in here. And then on top of that, we have basically it's foam board, so foam board insulation. And then on top of that, we put more 3/4 inch regular plywood, not pressure treated. And then we have our vapor barrier, and then of course we've got the birch flooring. So in the flooring, I mentioned the foam board. We use 2-inch foam board, and wow, that really makes a difference. You know, when it's -30 outside and you're walking around in your bare feet or your stocking feet in here, it makes a huge difference. So I highly recommend it if you're in a cold environment with your cabin. It definitely keeps the cold out. Back here I've got the Rona prefab kitchen, so we got that there. That's great. It's got a few drawers, lots of storage space in there. This is like a chipboard kind of countertop here with laminate. Lots of space there. And here's our cool little sink. I don't have the water hooked up just yet, but this is a hand pump. So when you hook up, there's a hose down here, and I've shown you in other videos where you put this in our water pail. So it's basically manually pumped. You know, you pump this back and forth, and you can see a bit of water coming out there. So once it's hooked up to the pail, it really comes really nicely. You can kind of move this around. I got this on Amazon. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below and I can send you the link. Little sink we got, I think, at the Habitat for Humanity's Recycle Center. Very small little sink, the size of my hand there, just for a few dishes. So here's where the power comes into the cabin from the outside, and we have a little inverter right here, a little 300 watt inverter, as you can see. And when it's hooked up to the battery, it delivers power into these little outlets right here. And you can charge your phone or camera batteries or whatnot. Also, the power that comes in here powers the lights that we have interior in the cabin. We've got 4 lights set up. We've got one in the ceiling, well actually 5. One in the ceiling, one in the kitchen ahead of me, one up in the loft, one on the porch, and one up in the attic so we can see what we're doing up there. So I certainly don't want to run them all at the same time. We only, that would really suck the battery dry. We haven't set up a full battery bank system with the solar panels yet. So we just conserve as much as possible, which is a good idea anyway. And most of the time we're outside doing things, so lights aren't on all the time. So quite often we'll just have one light on. When we're here in the night, it lights up very nicely. But if you need to go in the attic, you can flick that on, or you're going out to check a noise outside, you just turn the light on the deck. So one thing about it in here is really nice is we've got these big 15-foot ceilings, like a cathedral style ceiling. And it really makes a difference. Lots of height in there. And you can see our little homemade light, powered by battery. It's got some LED strips in there and it's very bright, 2 LED strips. So very economical, very easy to run. The siding here on the wall is pine. And yeah, it was pretty nice. We put that in last summer or so, and we just still have to do the trim, as you guys can see up there. Also on the floor, we have not done the trim work. The cabin has 4 large picture windows. Let's look at where I was just standing and see me in the mirror there. Hello. It's 4 large picture windows, about 48 inches by 48 inches, I believe. Got a few little stickers on there so the birds don't fly in the windows, although I'd need to put way more on there so they can avoid the window. See my little heater on the floor there? That's going to get put up in the attic, which I'll show you guys. So these are sort of side sliders here. I really like these windows. There's lots of cross breeze in here, which is really important. The door we use there, that's just a regular sort of steel frame door. Figured less likely the bears to punch through that one, although I'm sure they can. Up here we've got a loft, and I'll show that to you guys. And right now we've got a temporary ladder to get up there, but we will be doing something a little more designer there. Here we've got a little temporary bendy shelf there, but actually we've got a lovely piece of live edge pine that's going to be put against these cast iron brackets. So this is just temporary to kind of put some of my books up here. Take a look at this, guys. This is something new you guys have not seen yet. This is a table made out of walnut. Husband made that, and on some legs there, which I see apparently have rusted or something since I've been in here last. So we'll have to deal with that. Gets kind of humid in here in the summertime. But yeah, so this is a nice walnut table. Probably seat about 4 comfortably. A few chairs just actually from just a local furniture shop. Actually, it's probably the grocery store. Now they have those little sections where you can buy chairs. So I think that's actually where we got it. So this looks onto the forest, this area here, and the other 2 windows look onto a bit of the forest and the field. I'm going to show you, these are some nice blinds we got from Rona. They pull down, and you can see they let the light through. So that's really, really nice. And they sort of nest within the bounds of the window, so that's nice. Here is a couch actually I got from IKEA, and it is it's a pull-out bed too. So when we have people over, they can hang out there and pull that out. Let's go up the ladder. It's a little dicey up here. As you can see right off the bat, we've floored the loft also with the birch hardwood, which makes it really nice. Something to note is we actually built out the loft a little bit farther. It is 4 by 10 feet, but we actually extended it out a little bit longer here. There's actual like little joists under here, very small extension because a double bed wouldn't originally fit up in there comfortably. So we extended this out. As you can see, there's a railing here. That will also be finished. It's not done yet. And so you can just sort of see that little extension there over the door, which is not a, it's a great idea. You know, it was just way too snug before up there. And it just provided that extra level of comfort. All right, I'm gonna go open the window. This one is the same blind as downstairs, except it is a blackout blind. So that's a lot smaller window, but that's okay. We were thinking of actually doing a skylight right here, but then kind of chickened out when it came to that because of, well, skylight's leak and all, so I didn't think that was a great idea. We've not completed all the finishing work there. There's a light right there that you guys can see. That's the entry into our attic, which is not complete. This summer we need to do a lot of trim work on those windows and just anywhere in the cabin really, sort of along here too. We got to do the trim work. Just the finishing touches, you know, to make it all nice. There's a smoke detector. And as you guys pointed out in my other video, I had my carbon monoxide detector way too low on the wall, so I put it up there, moved it, so that's good. That's a smoke and carbon monoxide detector. And you can look down and see all of our stuff down there. All right, let's take a look in the attic. All right, so I've turned the light on so you guys can see a bit better as we go into the attic. Just gonna push this down. You can see we've got some foam board in here. And there's the attic. I've got a light back here as well, so there's lots of junk in here right now, but a ton of space, obviously. 10 by 20 to store stuff. So we've got some of the rock salts, the rock salt R22 at the back. You can see I've got some mouse traps set up in here. A little dark in there, but just to get anything that we might get up here. Also got glue traps up here too, because we do get a lot of spiders and ants and stuff. Really disgusting spiders. They're like the size of your hand. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the insulation we had left over, the R22. 16 inch. 6 inches thick. We might actually end up, I don't know, insulating the shed or something like that. Not really sure, but at least we've got some left over. We'll store it up here for now. You can see that's where I came out. That's the loft back there. And there's a channel to help with the airflow. Yeah, and this is the foam board we use for the flooring. You can see it's a little bit left over. It's 2 inches thick, so that makes really good insulation. So there you have it, a really big attic space for lots of storage. I mean, theoretically, we could make this into a living space if we wanted to, but we're happy right now to have the storage. Maybe we'll reconsider in the future and, you know, maybe, hey, we could even like block off the back part of it and have the front part as another living quarters. I'm not really sure, but for now, it's just going to stay an attic. As you can see down here, we've also insulated with rock salt in the ceiling. So as you can see all that along there, it's all insulated, even underneath these boards right here. The whole ceiling in the cabin is insulated, so it's really nice and toasty. And there's vapor barrier on the underside of that too as well. As you look back towards the loft, all around, so all above here and all around on this side, it's all insulated with rock salt too. So the attic, you know, basically the cold stays in the attic and does not get into the cabin. Thanks for joining me on today's tour of the cabin. I hope you have a great week. Take care.